warm welcome to everybody joining us on this edition of The Print's Safe and Sound, presented by Facebook. And this is where we talk about topics related to the post-COVID world. And today's episode of Safe and Sound is going to be on online safety. And today joining me will be two incredibly knowledgeable, eminent experts when it comes to online safety and cybersecurity. One, of course, is the former National Cybersecurity Coordinator of India, Dr. Gulshan Rai, and also a very, very well-known cybersecurity expert as well as cybercrime investigator, Ritesh Bhatia. Dr. Gulshan, Ritesh sir, thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Safe and Sound.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Very nice of you. We are grateful to you for inviting us on such an important topic. And more than that, very nice of you. It's a very good thing that you have taken up to discuss on this topic, which is a very, very important from everyone point of view, whether it is of all age, all sections of the society. And that too with a cybercrime and the expert like Ritesh Bhatia. It's a pleasure.
It's my pleasure to be with Dr. Gulshan Rai, and thank you to Print and Regina, especially to you and to Facebook for organizing this.
So as we start off, let me first start by allowing our experts to describe exactly what we mean by online safety. Dr. Gulshan, could you tell us, when we say online safety, exactly what do we mean? Does it mean staying safe or staying away from hate speech, protecting ourselves against hackers, against bullying? Exactly what does online safety mean?
Regina, online safety has a very wider meaning there. Online safety means your whatever transactions you conduct on the net. Net means internet. Mm-hmm. It should be safe. It should not be exploited. It should not lead to any crime. It should not bring any kind of offensive activity on you, knowingly or unknowingly. And overall, the transaction what you do, you surf the internet, is safely, without any tension, without any worry that someone is hacking me, someone is stealing my information, someone is going to exploit my information, or someone is not trying to feed me a wrong, fake information. And overall, no one will exploit me for my transactions on the internet or the net. That's the larger meaning of the online safety.
Ritesh sir, what does online safety mean to you?
So for me, when you go online, which means you're entering with your digital footprints. Anywhere else you go with your footprints. You leave your footprints behind. So same way in the cyberspace, you leave your digital footprints safe. So now how careful you tread over there. So I would say online safety to me would mean that I am safe. Financially, I am safe, like emotionally, I am safe, even physically. So these are the things that really matter to me because, as I told you about the digital footprints, we leave a lot of digital footprints. So let me give you one example in short, very quickly for each of them. When I say financially, which means whenever I'm doing a particular transaction, forget about how safe the other company or the other merchant is or the other e-commerce portal is. Am I doing my transaction safely or not? Do I have that kind of awareness or not? Whether the site has an HTTPS or not, and whether I am on the right site, and am I entering my net banking details correctly? Is my the computer safe and my antivirus and many more things? Is this a phishing website or whatever? Emotionally, when I talk about it, means am I engaging in certain conversations which can lead to people bullying me, or I become a part of bullying others? So there also, it takes a lot of emotional trauma as such also. So, so these are the two areas which I need to be very, very careful about. Besides, what I'm doing about my online even reputation, which is my digital footprints. So am I leaving any sort of footprints which can which can be used to come back to me. So this is what I would say overall for me online safety means this.
Imagine someone says, "Oh, we have all of your data and we need like 2 bitcoins or 0.02 bitcoins. You have to give it to me, else I won't give you your data back." And if I get that message, I would panic. What would you do? How would a user react in this situation?
You see, if you are asking me a question because I have worked in this area, or you're asking me as a common person, I really don't know.
As a common person, let's say
I will get panicky. As a common person, I will get panicky. But I must say that in my professional life, which is not a 2 years, which is a very long life, it's more than a decade and a half there in this area itself. What is the guarantee that someone calls me that you give me this Bitcoin, I will not load the rest of the information? And Ritesh has said it. What's a guarantee that he will not load? Someone else may not load, someone else will load it. There's no guarantee there. Okay. We don't know from where all the information is passing there. Even if I assume, what is a guarantee that he will take money and give it to me? He says, first transmit the Bitcoin and then leave it. I will not do that. So as a professional, I will not do, and I will, in fact, someone ask me, I will say, don't do that. Information is gone. You should be careful in storing the information, doing the transactions. Look at all these steps there, which are all available in the public websites or the government website there. This whole kind of a blackmailing is not going to solve the case. It's not going to give me the security. Mera to half my information is gone. Better I should rather look at how to protect my whatever I have, or how to stop misuse of that information, rather than going and transferring the Bitcoin. I have never seen WannaCry. I have never seen. They opening the things, and I don't know what is Ritesh's experience. My experience is that no ransomware case has been solved by virtue of giving the money.
Ritesh sir, tell us. See, as I was saying, if I was an end user and I got a blackmail note like that, I would panic. But say, what would you do in a case like that? I'm sure you have the background of being like in this area. So not panic. What would you do, and what would be your tips to someone who gets messages like this, or sextortion, or any kind of blackmail?
Okay. So Regina, there have been let me give you a real life example of like 40 plus cases that I have, which I term them as a sextortion scam. There's a real sextortion wherein somebody actually has my nudes, and there is a case wherein they don't have, and that's like a complete scam. Now, this was an email that started somewhere in the last year, and it boomed at the start of the pandemic. It boomed also in the last year. Why? Because Pornhub came up with a survey that the increase in the viewership of pornography, especially in India, has gone up by 90% plus. Okay. And then what happened? Because of that, many emails started coming, and then there were a lot of emails wherein they said like, look, hey Ritesh, this is your password, and you know why, and you know that password is a real password, and they would, a password that I had used sometime. They would say, this is your real password, and you know why, and you are surprised that we have your password, but let us also tell you that we have hacked into your systems. We installed a spyware, and last night while you were watching pornography, we recorded you doing certain acts. Okay. And now if you don't want us to send this video to your friends and family, or to upload it and blah, 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 send us this much Bitcoin. Okay. So I have clients who actually paid, and they were never ever in peace even after paying, because this doesn't end. And then I had these clients who directly came to me. In fact, one of them was at a very senior position in a cooperative bank. And he was suicidal. So, we had many cases. He said, if you're not going to give me a solution, I'm going to go and jump over here. And I told him the solution is just select that email and delete it. There's nothing that you have to be bothered about, because this is a sextortion scam. Now you would ask, or as these clients ask, how did they get my password then? Because this was a password that I was actually using. So let's not forget, when the data breaches happen, like for example, it happened with a food delivery app, with a very popular food delivery app, when it's data breach, or with LinkedIn when it happened. What was it? The passwords were stored in the plain text. They were breached. They were sold on the dark web. Now, on the dark web, these hackers got like these millions of passwords, and they said, it makes no sense to go and try to hack each and everybody's account. Why not? Let's make a script, send a mass email to these millions of users. Somebody will fall in a trap. Not somebody, many people fell in this trap and they paid. So now, to answer your question, we as a user, we need to first understand that somebody who's asking me for a ransom, whether he really has my data or not, whether this is like a scam, as I told you about the sextortion scam. Even if he has my data, because I'm an individual user, what would he be having as my data? Maybe some of my Excel sheets or whatever. I'm no like big personality that I really need to be like worried about or something like this. So I would say, to hell with it. If I was a corporate, like Dr. Gulshan sir was saying, that then I would have to think. I would always discourage the corporates, like not to pay the ransom. But in some cases where I saw, they said, no, Ritesh, we really, so we had to like kind of, calculate the cost of rebuilding that data, and also have what would be the guarantee of that particular person. So we actually, made up a plan and all, calculated, and we said, no, okay, we need it. Let's start with negotiations. We started with just one PC. We got the key. We put it up over there. We got all our data back. Then we went to the second PC, and then we negotiated further, because he also saw, okay, this is not a person who's just like trying to do. And we got the data. But please let me tell you, I would never ever, tell anyone to go for something like this. This was a very different case. Otherwise, backup. As far as a corporate is concerned, or even as far as you as a user is concerned, you heard about your friends losing their mobile phones and all. It's thankfully that you're there on the cloud. Your data is getting backed up on the cloud, so you're doing it. So it's okay to pay that 50 rupees or 100 rupees per month, let's say, to Apple iCloud or to the Google Drive. At least, when something is lost, you're able to get back your data.
All right. Dr. Gulshan, as we wrap up, so some basic tips for the end user, as you said, those would be the very simple ones, like strong password, two-factor authentication. Would it just be simple things like that will actually protect us? Or are there any more tips that you could provide for us to be safe online?
Apart from these two, first of all, you must have a password in every device. Don't keep the common password. We normally make a mistake. All devices we connect together. Today you have a Google, they all connect together, and all our passwords are same. We don't do that. Second thing, don't store the password in your mobile phone there. Somewhere you store it differently. Somewhere you write it there, which is maybe physical or somewhere. Don't put it on the mobile phone. You are giving the treasure of that, because today, when I download the print app there, you will say, I will take away all data. I will take away all your photographs. I will take away all the media there. Okay. So you will take away my password also there. Okay. So I have to be very, very clear that I don't write anything. I don't store any information which is sensitive to me on my mobile phone or on my device there. I don't store that. That's one. We will never be able to wipe away or dispense with the paper kind of record somewhere. The second category of thing which I would advise, that don't use any pirated kind of a software. Okay, always buy the good software there, which are legal software. Third thing I will say, that always put good antivirus software, which gives you give you protection, 360-degree protection there. You buy and upgrade it on a regular basis. The fourth important aspect, which people normally neglected, is that when you have a DSL modem, your ADSL, DSL broadband kind of a connection there, you must first point when the moment the modem install, reformat the model and put a password, strong password. Because most of the, and I can tell you 90% of the modems are functioning on a default password, which are all published on the net there. So I will do the first thing the moment I will look at the DSL, I will configure it, or I will get it configured from the lineman. Put a strong password. Put a strong password to our all devices, different passwords. Store in a safe place, not in a mobile or electronic device there, which is connected on the internet there. Not at all there. And then don't use a pirated software or antivirus kind of software. These are the few things I will do for a common person there. And I think for the government that the more focus should be on creating regular awareness. More focus should be to work with agencies like you, print like you, or Facebook, to create awareness there, a constructive kind of awareness, as much as possible to do that. You see, it's a multi-stakeholder kind of environment. One organization, one entity cannot do that. So we need to take cooperation of all of them to create as much awareness as is possible. This is an area you prepare a content today, it gets obsolete tomorrow there, because the technology innovations are happening. The hackers are determining or detecting or doing different kind of a techniques to breach the system there. So I will keep on upgrading it. I will keep on putting those things in general. I was working with the banks initially when there were 6 to 8 phishing cases there, that you put a lot of advertisement, start small, a small kind of a there, keep your computer safe, computers your online safe, or your thing. I think those program need to be associated, since this program is also being conducted along with the Facebook. I think Facebook should also prominently on their website should display the message whenever I open my Facebook account, I post my message, or I do any kind of a access the Facebook. I think I'm not saying the first it should throw and then it should allow me. That becomes irritation. But somewhere they should put a message that safety of your computer, safety or your device is paramount for your safe transactions, online safety. That should be there.
All right.
And then that there should be some icon. If I want to know more, you should take me more there.
Ritesh, sir, final thoughts, final tips, more
Okay.
tips.
So,
Let's go on. Final tips on how to be safe online if you're a child or if you're a teenager, like top 3 tips.
Oh, okay. Okay, so firstly, I would really agree with Dr. Gulshan Rai about all the tips that he's given, and let's also not forget that the mobile in the pocket is no longer just a mobile, or not even just a bank. I think it is like a digital clone of you. It's another digital clone of you. So because the moment you lose a mobile, and let's say if a person like me gets access to it, I can actually create a complete persona out of just by going through the messages and everything. So let's not forget that for every app that we have, okay, there needs to be like a kind of a vault kind of a thing, or even the app also has its own lock. So one is you unlock your phone with your passcode, or with your fingerprint or face, and then to open, let's say, a WhatsApp, you again need a particular pin. It could be the same, or it could be a fingerprint. So this we need to do for all the apps. Now you would say, I have 60 apps. So that's another question that we need to ask ourselves. Do I really use all the 60 apps? There could be an app which I would be using like once in like 1 year. Why do I have it? So it's just sitting over there, and it's just watching my data go left, right, and top down. So remove those apps. Lastly, as far as your gallery is concerned, let's not forget, most of the apps have access to your gallery, and your gallery has some of your most private, sensitive moments and memories. And that also includes some of us also keep our, we click our Aadhaar card and keep there. We keep our PAN card over there. We keep our driving license and identity cards and what not. So let's be very, very careful. Those things can themselves be in another, like a photo vault, which is like having a military level of encryption and other kind of things. And you can move those pictures over there. And the other ones, which are not the sensitive kinds, can be over there. Passwords, yes, you may have strong ones and you may want to have different one, but that becomes a usability issue, a memory issue. So here is a tip: have a password which is firstly in your own mother language, in your own mother tongue. So I would say, "Aaj bahut thand hai," and I would write A capital, then @ and J, bahut, up and down, and thand hai, and I would make it 17 as a 17 degree, @ IG, means that is my password for Instagram. Now I have aaj bahut thand hai @FB, that could be for Facebook. And so next time after 3 months when I'm changing, I just change my first phrase, and of course I'm saying FB. I mean, I can keep to be like MZ, which is Mark Zuckerberg. I can keep anything that relates to Facebook. So something like that, but use more of a regional language. These are, the dictionary attacks are also then, becomes improbable. These are by default complicated, where when the moment you use it, you just imagine you're writing in your own Sri Lankan language, how it will be like so difficult. As far as the kids are concerned, I just want to tell them one thing, like, your digital footprints are there forever. Today, you may be doing something, you may be like, writing something, liking something, posting something. Let's not forget, today you are at a particular age where you're enjoying your stuff, but these digital footprints, unfortunately, are going to be there forever. So Regina, they need to realize that sooner or later they're going to apply for admission, especially when you're abroad. Like, Nirali, my wife, who's a cyber psychologist. So, many children come to her because their applications get rejected. And the reason that we find out is because of their bad footprints. And then these people are also going to go ahead for jobs and all that. So that is also a time when everything is like looked back. So be careful about what you say, and then online grooming is a major concern on the internet. Please understand, you can't trust anyone. So this is one thing. This is the second thing, that whether it's a teenager or whether it's a child, the other person is a stranger to you. He may want to offer you virtual currency and whatnot, but this can lead to two things. He's going to gain your trust. I'm talking about online grooming. He's going to groom you. He's going to gain your trust, and that could lead to either he asking for your parents' credit card, debit card details, because he's going to get you like some virtual currency at 1/10 of the cost, which is never ever going to happen, or he's going to lead you to a path of where he will abuse you online sexually, and then he will go and kind of sell it on the dark web, or he may just come back to you for more, or for more revenge as such. So the kids, if you ask me, I wouldn't really care much about their passwords and other kind of things, but I would tell them, be very, very careful about the sharks of the internet, because they are really the biggest threat in the cyberspace today.
All right. On that note, Dr. Gulshan, thank you very much for your time and for coming on this episode of The Print's Safe and Sound. Ritesh sir, thank you to you as well for being here and for sharing all of this knowledge. And thank you to our viewers as well for joining us. We hope you learned something. I certainly did. And also, don't forget to be safe online. For The Print, this is Regina Midukula.